thanks for tuning in today. Topic of today is reunions, and this Saturday I'm off to my 25th year high school reunion. So I graduated in the year 2000, and yeah, it's been 25 years. So really excited about that. The event itself is quite different from the 10-year reunion we held. So the 10-year reunion was hosted by my friend Christy Madden. She's an events queen, and I remember it being, she held it at this awesome venue in inner city Brisbane. It was quite boozy. Went out afterwards, got home like in the wee hours of the morning, just hanging out with old mates. And so that was over 15 years ago. This one seems a bit more subdued. It's organised by someone else, Magella, lovely girl. She's organised it, but it's actually being held at our old high school, which will be interesting. Just for 2.5 hours, there's like drinks, canapes. And then my other friend, Sharia, is flying in from London, and he's decided to host an after party at a local pub. So that's good. But anyway, what I found interesting about going to the 10-year reunion is that, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, what I noticed is that everyone was exactly the same. They was exactly the same person, probably a more amplified version of who they already were. But in terms of significant changes, not really at all. I find that really fascinating because we often talk about change and growth and personal development. I think a lot of the time what we're really talking about is unpeeling the layers that hold you from expressing who you really are. And guess what I expect from this year, and I'll obviously report back next week from catching up with my friends at the 25-year one, is probably more of the same, is that people are just more stepping into who they already are. I think I've always been this type of person, into sports, pretty enthusiastic. I don't think I've changed that much. I've always been into learning, and yeah, I've just wildly accelerated that in the last 25 years. But even reflecting on high school, I mean, I won the award. It was called the Pam Webb Cup, and it was for School Spirit Award. I played in the representative netball team, just volunteered in a ton of different committees. If you put me back into high school today as a 42-year-old, I would be exactly the same. But I'm curious if other people have made significant changes or what has shifted. And like I said, I will report back and share that. But that is my prediction for the reunion. I'm even going as far as the person that reached out to me about, just to make sure that I am going to the reunion, is my friend Emily Bell, was school captain. And of course, she's that type of person that would absolutely get in touch and say, hey, make sure that you're coming along. What's also interesting about this is when you, the Facebook event, most people sort of RSVPing in there, and there's a little bit of commentary, not too much banter, but yeah, there's commentary in there. But as you go into that thread, you kind of feel like you are cast back into the social hierarchy. Yeah, it's just funny how you've escaped that social scene for so long, yet when you go back into a forum that's all about it, you just slip back into that mode. I know it won't be like that when we all catch up, and it's really funny. That's a really successful, well, in terms of what society deems as successful colleagues, former schoolmates. Peter Tofferdefill, who was on this podcast, I interviewed him, and he was a Tongan flag bearer. I don't know if you've seen the footage of when he's at the Rio Olympics. He basically shut the internet down, broke the internet. He's been on Ellen's show, Harry Connick Jr. show, Snoop Dogg, and all of that. Yeah, just became really famous as a result of the opening ceremony and what he did there. Liz Cantor is another former schoolmate. She's a reporter for Channel 7. She won The Mole. Craig Horner is a famous actor. He was over in the US. So actually quite a few successful people in terms of celebrity success. But yeah, more so just really excited to see people and, see what's happening. I guess in the space of time, it's going to be so hard to talk to everyone. It's like going to an event. I don't like going to networking events and just talking to dozens of people. I'd like to have just really deep conversations with a couple of people. And I think, yeah, great, I've had a good night. I don't like that scattergun approach. It's going to be tight with timing, just getting around, and also trying to talk to people, because I've got friends here that do live in Brisbane, but we don't often catch up. And so there's probably a temptation to hang out with them and see what they're up to. But I also want to just see what people are doing in the world. And it also really interesting question. I don't want to ask, hey, what do you do now? And I know Vanessa Edwards asked a really great question. Instead of asking the career question, just asking, hey, what are you excited about? And I think that is a really good opener. Rather than, judging people on their career, vocation, stuff like that, I think it's really around what's lighting you up. I think that's a good one. So anyway, just spinning on that, have you been to your high school reunion? How did that go? I'm actually feeling really calm and excited about it. I'm not anxious about it at all. I'm pretty comfortable with what I'm doing, with where I'm at. Nothing to prove. And just excited to see everyone on Saturday night. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.